Hello, everybody. Still learning uh, this new video equipment, but I'm trying to make sure there's no lag time. And so I hear. So without any further ado, we're going live and back to the app. Okay, and here we are. Welcome to another edition of the second edition of the daily weekly Daryl that we're calling now Discussions with Daryl. Today, very happy to have a good friend, somebody I've known for most of my life, somebody I've got to re-know, after years away from each other. I think I got to know him again as a parent, a basketball aficionado, and then a pastor. So tickled to death today to welcome in Trad York from Waldo Baptist Church. Trad, how's it going there today?
Hey man, it's going really good. It's an honor to be here with you and to talk about the church, talk about family, talk about basketball. Some of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, let's just jump right in. First of all, I do want to welcome everybody that's listening. If you want to post your questions and stuff on the Facebook Live broadcast, I will try to get those questions, and then I can I questions to Pastor York. So that's we didn't really get that done too well last week. This week I was hoping that maybe that part of it will go a little better. So I've got it pulled up. We're awaiting your questions, and we'll do the best we can do. So, Trad, I think I just want to start off and, man, just tell us a little bit about Waldo Baptist Church. It's over in Illinois. Tell us what's going on over there.
Wow, man, God is doing some amazing things. Matter of fact, I was saved and called out of Waldo Baptist Church some 20-something years ago. And I met a girl, and she invited me to go to church there. And I said, no problem. I've been before. And so went to church that night, and God changed my life. And one weekend I was one way, next weekend I was totally different. And not only did God save me, God called me into ministry. Can you imagine that? I have so many people now say, Trad York, a pastor? Because they remember how I used to be, and they remember how I was growing up. But man, we serve an awesome God who changes lives. And so God took me away from Waldo for a few years and sent me to Hardin Baptist Church. And that's another one of God's humors is he take a Tillman guy and move him to Marshall County. And so, yeah, I went to Marshall County Hardin Baptist Church there for 10 years, 9 to 10 years as a youth minister. And I believe during that time, God was training me under Ricky Cunningham and taught me a lot about pastoring and brought me back some 9 years later to Waldo Baptist Church. And so I've been back about 8 years now and pastoring full time there for about 6 years now. And so just some wonderful people. It was established in 1850. And so that church has been around a long, long time. Some wonderful people, very friendly, loves the Lord, loves people. I would love to invite you if you don't have a church home.
Absolutely. I know we've been talking. We're going to try to get over there real soon, myself and my fiance, and visit you. I know the Lord's been working in your life and everything. And just want to be clear was the first church you went to Waldo Baptist?
It wasn't the first church that I went to. No, man. I remember as a kid, Tommy Hines invited me to Broadway Methodist Church and to play some basketball. And so I went there. I went there as a kid and just loved it. And also Casio Shaw and a good friend of mine, Roger Shaw, she invited me to First Baptist Paducah. And there I'd be exposed to the CLC and church there. And I would go and visit my mama every now and then. So I had some exposure to church growing up in different places, but never really settled in.
Okay. And so I think you said when you were 23, she asked you to go to, was that Waldo there?
Yeah. That was Waldo Baptist Church, and man, that was in my wild days, and there was, I mean, it was either jail, death, or whatever. That's the road that I was on, and just God, so in His goodness and kindness, brought a lady into my life who I'm now married to, and been married for 25 years this April. She's amazing, and
Wow.
so. Yeah, and God would use her to bring me into His grace, and so been doing that ever since.
Well, I remember meeting, probably the first time I met you was on the basketball court playing in the church leagues, and you were a tough guard. You were very physical. You could shoot the ball, you could handle the ball, and remind me a lot in later years of your children. Uh,
Yeah.
so, Chad, tell us a little, a very fascinating story that I guess it was 23 years, and the Lord was working on you before you became a Christian, and then was it straight into ministry, or did you have a couple of years there to do some other things?
No, it was amazing because I knew that not only did God save me, you have to excuse me, I get a cough every now and then. Not only did He save me, He called me, and for a long time, I would say 6 months, I ran from that calling that I knew God was calling me into being a pastor or youth pastor. Because you got to realize I didn't care about school growing up. I just went socially to be around and play sports, and I probably read one book in my entire life, and that was Where the Red Fern Grows. And that was about the only book that I read. And now God's calling me to not only read 66 books of the Bible, but to study it and to teach it and to proclaim it. And so I ran because I was very intimidated by that for a long time. And then, you can only run from God so long, and then He'll pin you down, and then, you know, and so I remember surrendering to ministry and saying, God, I'll do whatever you want me to do, go wherever you want me to go, just don't kill me. And so God called me at that time, and then I mean, it was just instantaneously when He saved me, He called me too. So
That's a fascinating story. Um, Looking on the line right now to see if we got a lot of comments so far, but nobody asking any questions. I'm trying to do a better job of that than I did in my initial. Um, Trad, here's a very interesting question for me and for a lot of people watching out there. I'm a Christian. I have been since I was 9 years old. Very proud of that. It is the most important thing in my life. How does it feel? How does it make you feel to take someone who has not been saved and lead them to the Lord?
man, it's an amazing feeling. Just recently, a good friend of mine came to know the Lord, and I never would have thought I would have got a phone call from this person. And then one day out of the blue, I got a call and said, "Hey, what time's your church start?" I mean, I was so excited. I went down a one-way street and in Paducah because I saw the name come across, and I thought, man, what's going on? And he said, "Hey, what time's your service?" And that was so exciting for me. But what's even more exciting than watching someone come to know the Lord is watching someone follow the Lord and stay faithful to the Lord, and watching that person start sharing their faith and start winning other people to Christ. You see, I read a book one time, I believe it was by Howard Hendricks. It said that evangelism isn't finished until the evangelized becomes the evangelist. And so it's a process of multiplication, is pouring your life into others and watching them pour their lives into others. And that's what the Christian life is about. And it's not about a one-time deal that I did this one time. It's a lifetime. I mean, it's a lifetime of
Absolutely.
living your life faithfully to God. I'm not so concerned about what happened at one time in your life more than I'm concerned about what's going on in your life right now. Because, there's a lot of people who make decisions, but very few people make commitments. And it's more, following Christ and being saved is more than a decision. It's a commitment to follow Jesus Christ all the days of your life. And if God is truly
Yeah.
in your life, He's going to truly be in your life all the way to the end.
So really, it's one day at a time. It's trying to do things in a different fashion. Just like in life, just like in business, you're trying to take things one step at a time. Can't do it all
Yeah.
at once. In other words.
No, well, yeah, no, God's teaching us something new every day. Just this day that we're in, it's a new day that you and I have never been in before. And it's a new day that's
Sure.
filled with new mercies and new grace and opportunities that God brings our way to tell others about Jesus Christ. And tomorrow we have no clue what tomorrow's going to hold, but we do know who holds tomorrow, and it's Jesus. So yeah, every day is a new day to explore and to know Christ more and to share his great name more.
Trad, I noticed. I don't know. It's maybe been a couple of months back that you might have been. May not be your first time that you've been on Facebook Live. This may because I remember you doing some Facebook Live, some Bible study, and some prayer, which I thought was just
Yeah.
fabulous. That
Yeah.
you saw this new technology and were and I loved listening in. What was it didn't require a long time commitment. I think you were typically done in 10 or 15 minutes. And so
Right.
tell us a little bit about how you've used social media to spread the word of your ministry.
Yeah, man, social media can be a good thing or it can be a bad thing. And that's with anything.
Okay.
I think it is a great platform to be able to share the gospel quicker, faster than ever before. And I think that if Christians would use social media in a way to share their faith and tell others about Jesus Christ, you can reach a whole lot more people. And you can get the information out, such as also if you have something at your church. It's a good way to get the information out to other people that,
Sure.
hey, I might want to go to that. I might want to be a part of that. We have every now and then we do a class called Grief Share at our church. And it's for those who have lost loved ones, so those who are grieving. And if you don't put it out there, there may be people that don't know. And but how many people are on Facebook land? I mean, there's so many people on Facebook, and so it's a good way to get information out that they may be interested in and can learn from.
Have you ever thought about streaming live one of your Sunday morning sermons? I know just to let everybody know, Trad is also he's a Sunday school teacher as well as a pastor. And I was just wondering if you ever thought about maybe trying the Facebook Live. You have to do it from your phone unless you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
certain types of software like we're using. But I just wondered maybe.
right, right. Actually, we're looking at that for the Facebook Live. We've been meeting about that. We are online live at church, Waldo Baptist Church Online.org. And so we're
Oh, I did
live
not know
every
that.
Sunday. Yeah, we're live every
Nice.
Sunday. And so you can be able to watch it live. Now, we're still working on some things. Just the sermon is online. We hadn't got the music online live yet, but we're heading that way. We have found that we had no clue what we were getting into when we did this, because when you're live, you're live. But
Yes.
what we have found is it helps the shut-ins and it helps those who are
Uh-huh.
sick and who couldn't be there. What we don't want it to do is for you to say, well, I think I'll just stay home today from church and watch it on the computer. And that's not what it's intended for, because we believe that in the body of Christ, in church, there is a community that needs to come together to worship the King of Kings, but also to sharpen each other. Iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. But this is a ministry that is able to reach out to an elderly person that is not able to come. And we've heard that over and over again, that we get to watch that. My daughter comes over and sets the computer up because we don't know a whole lot about computers, but they're able to watch it. They're able to watch it live. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. And that's thank God for the millennials because uh, we didn't learn this stuff growing up or whatever. But I think it's very interesting. The this is the year of the live video, We've been told that a million times. And so anytime you can use it to for your congregation, like you said, people who couldn't make it on a particular day, people are out of
Right.
town, people are sick.
Yeah.
I think you had
Yeah.
had the flu last week, didn't you?
Yeah. And I was able to watch it, and I'm still struggling. That's why I cough every now and then. But, I was able to see our senior saint pastor preach, and he preached a great message on the prodigal son. And while I was watching it, I was able to share it so that other people can see, hey, we're live, so you can go on there. So, and we're seeing a rise in our viewers. And so, what's really
Yeah.
neat is I also have a lady who's in Germany who watches, and her aunt goes to our church, and so she's able to get online and she's able to watch church services from Germany, and that's really cool for a country church in Metropolis, Illinois.
Nice. Well, in Germany, around the world, I know I have friends in Australia. I've looked down here at the people who have joined us, and we got friends from the West Coast,
Yeah,
checking in
yeah.
on us in Kentucky. So I think it's pretty cool. Um, Trad, tell us about your family. You got what I found to be two very interesting children over the years. One I competed against, one I did not. But just tell us how they grew up in the church and in basketball, and tell us what they're doing today.
Wow. Let me tell you. Let me start first with um, my wife, and my wife is amazing.
Okay.
Her name is Cammie, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have those two. And so God has placed her in my life. She's not only we're best friends, but at the same time we do everything together. And so I just because I know that God works in different ways, but I believe he worked through her to get me to where I need to be, but he put me with her. And so I am very blessed to have her in my life. I want to say that because I love her dearly. And April the 4th, we'll be married 25 years. And so have no clue what we're going to do yet, but we're going to do something anyway. And then my firstborn is Chase York. He's married now, and like I said before, it was amazing that God took me, a Paducah Tillman guy, to Marshall County, and then here my kids are going through the school and they're playing basketball, and I had no clue because then I got a daughter, Allie, and she's an amazing too. Both of them. I always was afraid because people would always say, you're going to pay for your raising. And I thought, oh man, if that's the case, I'm in trouble. And but man, I couldn't be more blessed than God has given me two absolutely awesome kids. I've never had a lick of problems with them at all. They've been very focused on education, which I wasn't. Very disciplined in a lot of ways where I wasn't. So not only basketball, but academically, they have done great. My son is married to Shelby. I got a great daughter-in-law, and I've got two grand horses and two grand dogs. So I'm still waiting for that grandchild, which maybe will come one day. But he works at CFSB Bank and loves it. And then my daughter's on her third year of being a middle school teacher, and she wants to, I think, be a middle school teacher and / coach some. So she's coaching at South Marshall Middle School along with Coach Lyles and Bailey Greer, and she absolutely loves it. So that's kind of my family in a nutshell.
Yeah, I could definitely see your daughter going into coaching. And
Yeah,
am I correct? I know you played in the state tournament. Did your son is
yeah.
play in Rupp Arena?
Yeah, and yeah, it's amazing because my son, they won regional tournament twice, and he got to go to state tournament twice, and my daughter got to go to state tournament 3 times. Now, how crazy is that? That you have
Okay.
two kids go to state tournament twice and one go 3 times, and so that was amazing. Yeah, my son played at Rupp Arena both times, and my daughter at Bowling Green. Now she missed her junior year. She tore her
Mhm.
ACL at the very beginning of the year, but she got to dress at at the state tournament at Bowling Green, which then prepared her for the next year.
Okay. Trav, we got a question, but I'm going to hold it because it's going to be something we're going to get to in a minute. I don't want
Okay.
you to answer this yet, but Mr. Brandon Heine has said, is Trav pulling for UK in March? And we'll come back to that in just a few minutes. Um, and I just want you to know, and the viewers, that it's not crazy to me that his children played in that many state tournaments, because I saw all along how hard they worked at it, and they really, really, really got
Yeah.
everything that they deserved. And so, I want to shift gears here for a second, Trad, and something I hadn't planned on and really hoped I'd never have to ask you about. And I know you and I both lost a good friend, almost a week ago now,
Yeah.
Burton Stodghill. And
Yeah.
so maybe just, I'm getting goosebumps as I'm sitting here talking about this. Today is the day of his funeral. And I know probably a bunch of his friends and our mutual friends are listening in. What would you say as a pastor to all of us who are going through this stage of grief and shock, and maybe just talk about the stages of what we're going
Yeah.
through?
Man, I'm glad you brought that up actually, because I got me a little notepad to my side here and I wrote down some things just in case. And one of the very first things that I've got on here is Burton Stodghill. And I talked to you just the other day. We went out to eat at lunch, and some things that you wish you could do differently, and you look back on, as you get older, you mature and you see things better than you did when you was in high school or middle school. And one of the things that I wish I would have done differently was be friends with as many people as I possibly could. And looking back on that class of '88, which, if you're a Tillman alum, you're family. And it doesn't matter
Sure.
what year you're not what year you are family. You just can't describe the connection of the Tillman family. And it's so diverse, but it's so good. And but Bert Stodghill, man, was a guy that he was always friendly, always smiling, smart, intelligent, never met a stranger. Just witty and funny and in a dry sense of humor kind of way. And so, but what I would say is during this time, man, take the opportunity to love people and not take things for granted, because things can happen rather quickly. You can be here today and be gone tomorrow. And so I think we ought to live every day as though this was our last day to live. And so if you and I knew that this might be our last day, what would we do differently? And so I think we ought to go out of our way and tell people, how much we care about them, how much we appreciate them. But what I would say to his friends is embrace one another, encourage one another, get closer to one another, seek the Lord, seek Christ, because Christ is the only one who can bring comfort into our lives. Outside of him, there is no comfort. Outside of him, there is no joy. And so I would encourage us to embrace Christ and embrace each other and encourage one another. But man, I'm praying for the family. I believe his dad is Jerry and June. I always know him as Mr. and Miss Stodghill. And I see him at Panera Bread about 2 or 3 times a week as I go in there and study, and just, man, the finest people and very loving,
Oh, no
and
doubt.
she always has the biggest smile on her face. And so I would just say that, and I'm praying for the family and praying for the friends, and just embrace one another, embrace Christ.
Wow. And there's no way that you could have known I was going to ask that today. But I think you put it so eloquently there that I almost have nothing to add other than I too am praying for the
Yeah.
family. And Bert left a legacy with our Tillman family, back in high school, like you said, just the nicest guy, very warm, very friendly. And I think he also left a legacy here in Paducah with his work at the
Yeah.
Orthopedic
Yeah.
Institute. So
I
I know
think
he's worked
Bert,
on
I
a
think
number.
I think Bert was one of the smartest guys I've ever met. But Bert was not the type of guy who bragged that I knew of. And he didn't brag about things, and he didn't think he was, better than anybody else. Bert was, what you see is what you got. And so that's who he was. And that's what made him very, very special. He didn't try to be someone he wasn't. So it's a special honor to have gotten to know him.
There's no question about it. No, and like I said, he leaves a legacy not only at the school but also at his business that he I believe was a co-founder, and
Right.
and so many friends and so many patients. I know he worked on a number of my players who had ACL stuff like that, and he just he did a remarkable job. He's a remarkable human being, and we're all going to miss him dearly. And, and so I'm glad that we got to take a moment today and just honor him and his friends, because I'm sure a lot of them are in town.
That's right. Great.
And so safe travels out to them. We talked a little bit about high school basketball and your kids playing one of the questions I have for you, because I don't get to see you that much at games anymore. Do you still go watch games?
Yeah, I still go watch games. Now I don't go as much as I used to. I'll go watch different games now. I'm able to go to see some of Tillman's games. I go watch some of my nieces and nephews play ball now. And so we're at a different stage in our life. Cammie and I are growing up, or with our kids growing up, we were in different directions always, because they were always doing something. But as they get older, and I would say this to a lot of parents who have younger children, is enjoy the moment, because time flies so quickly. And then the next thing you know, you're on the couch or in the chair recliner looking at each other saying, what do we do now? Because there's no games to go to. We're not going to watch. And so now we just go and watch other people, and we wait now for our grandkids, I guess. And so we can go watch them. So, but yeah, I'll go to watch other people, watch it on TV. So I watch a lot of American Pickers too. So just to kind of let you know that about me. So,
well, I enjoyed seeing it at the games. I enjoyed seeing it at the games. I know it's probably a relief, because now you can go watch as a basketball fan instead of, I know since my niece has graduated and moved on, you can watch more as a fan than you can as a coach or coaching from the stands or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my blood pressure has gone way down since when my kids were there. So.
Well, Trad, I want to be respectful of your time. I think you told me that you're speaking at a high school this afternoon with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Yeah. Actually, I'm speaking at it's Massac Junior High, 3:15 today. Okay. So I'm gonna go share with them. Hey, I also want to say too that I want to wish my mom a happy birthday today. And so today is her birthday, and that was one of the things I had on my list here, is make sure that I told her happy birthday and how much she means to me. And so
absolutely, happy birthday. She coached some good kids, or she raised some good kids. I'm sure she coached them as well. So happy birthday. Got one more thing on the list here, and I just figured it's time we have. I figure want to be respectful of your time, but also we wanted to have some fun for a moment. So, it is March Madness. We are mere days from Selection Sunday. Actually, my birthday is going to be on Selection Sunday this year, so I fully expect to get overlooked in the name of the brackets and bracket bill. So what I was going to ask you is, why don't you and I, go through, and we're not going to bore people to death with every single pick, but let's pick the top 2 seeds as you see them and as I see them in the different regions. And we'll just, if you want to, we'll start in the East, and I'll go first. And I'm going to predict
I predict a winner right now.
Okay.
I predict a winner right now. Northern Kentucky.
Okay. Wow.
No, I'm excited for them. I think if I'm not mistaken, this is their first year in. And so I was listening to Matt Jones earlier, and he was talking about it being their first year in. So I'm excited for them. Hopefully, I'll get to play Louisville, and we can cheer for Northern Kentucky. Now I'm teasing all my Louisville friends.
Yeah, my associate, he went to Northern both for undergrad, and Nick Jones, he went to Northern for undergrad and for law school, and that guy's walking on air today. So
I
he doesn't
imagine
want him to
he
have
is.
to. So well, let's just
Congratulations.
we'll start in the East, and we're just going to do the top 2 seeds, and I'm going to predict that the number 1 seed in the East region will be Villanova, and the number 2 pick is going to be the Louisville Cardinals.
Louisville.
And then we can just go. Yeah, but then we'll also do the South bracket, the Midwest, and the West.
I don't have the brackets with me, so I don't know exactly. So.
Okay. You want to just give a guess then who you might think would be
I'll
the
give you.
top
I'll
2
give
seeds
you.
in the East?
I'll give you. Well, you caught me off guard here. I'm going to go with. I know Kentucky's not going to be in there. So you're talking about the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed.
Just in the East bracket. Yeah,
East
and
bracket.
then we'll do the South, and then we'll do the the East bracket.
All right. Syracuse.
Okay.
And I'm just throwing it out there. And number 2, did you say? I'll go with Louisville too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can tell you right now, Syracuse is not going to be a number 1 seed. They're on the bubble.
Probably not.
But if you're
they
picking
were winning
winner,
a while ago. They were.
Okay. All right. Saw that at lunch. All right. The South bracket, I'm gonna say that just for many different reasons that I've kind of looked at this week, I think the number 1 seed will be North Carolina, and the number 2 seed will be our Kentucky Wildcat.
I'm gonna say Kentucky and North Carolina.
Okay. Who you got as a 2?
I'm gonna say Kentucky number 1 and North Carolina 2.
Okay, I like that.
I think Kentucky.
Right,
I think Kentucky's going to win the SEC tournament.
Okay. Well, let's move to the Midwest bracket, where I'm going to say the number 1 seed will be the much hated Kansas Jayhawks, and the number 2 seed, I'm just going to guess Arizona Wildcats.
I'm going to say Kansas number 1 and Oklahoma.
All right. And then we move out to the West bracket. I'm going to go Gonzaga number 1, UCLA number 2. And that's my amateur guess.
I'm going to switch it. UCLA 1 and Gonzaga 2.
Very interesting. So everybody, this weekend, y'all can take a look, see how we did, and get ready to fill out those brackets on Sunday. And try to want to, like I said, want to be respectful of your time, let you be able to get out and make it to your appointments. But, man, we enjoyed having you here today. We want to have you again sometime. It was just a great conversation. We picked right up where we left off from lunch last week, so let's do lunch sometime soon. And
that sounds good. But let's say this before we get out of here.
Okay.
Who do you pick as the overall? Who do you pick honestly as the overall NCAA tournament winner?
Well, I'll give my heart bet it's going to be the Kentucky Wildcats. So if that happens, you will celebrate your anniversary with a national championship. But if I had to get the team that I think is the team to beat overall is because I think they got the experience. I think it's time. It's been almost 10 years since we've had back-to-back. I'm going to go with the other Wildcats, the Villanova Wildcats.
Really? All right. Well, I'm going to give mine. And again, I'm with you on the heart one. It's Kentucky. But as much as this pains me, I'm going to say North Carolina wins it all.
Well, we've at least picked probably 3 of the 5 or 6 with a chance.
Yeah.
So one of us is going to be right.
They look too good. So.
Well, Trad, anything you want to say in closing? We got a bunch of viewers watching in today. like I said, we really enjoyed having you. We want to have you back sometime, and just really, really appreciate you stopping in.
Hey, thanks for having me. Just want to tell all viewers, thank you for being here and watching with us. Please comment to let us know what you thought about this, and this helps in future reference on how we can do things. So make sure you comment and let us know. And it's been great. Remember to live every day as though this is your last. So make sure you accomplish everything that you want to get accomplished, and never put off, tomorrow what you can do today. All right. So, but anyway, thanks for having me.
Very
It's
well.
been an honor. Yeah, it's been an honor.
Very, very well spoken. And we'll sign off with that. As a very smart man, just always, what would you do if this was your last day? And let's go out and live like that. Thanks for everything, Trad, and we'll be in touch soon.
All right. We'll see you, Daryl.